visit with us. Martin, congratulations on a very, very good round of golf today. One shot off of tying the course record. I'm not quite sure if you knew that or not, but a wonderful front nine, not a bad back nine. Let's talk about golf today.
I start, I guess?
Yes,
okay. Yeah, I started off very well. You know, the first 6-7 holes, they're a little bit, they're not so windy. So I thought that if you can start off with a couple of birdies, the first 6 holes would be really nice. But then I got a big bonus there on 7. It was a very good 8-iron that I hit to 3 or 4 feet. And then I played really consistent. You know, I think it's very important on those with this kind of grass that you hit many fairways. But I said yesterday, and I think I hit a few today. And my putting felt good. I just made 1 3-putt today. That's why I made bogey. But only 1 bogey is fine. You know, if you make only 1 bogey and then both goes, you should do fairly okay.
Very good, thank you, Martin. Questions, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Martin, what kind of distance did you have for your second shot at 7? And did you know it was as good as it was?
Yeah, when it took off, I thought please be long enough because it was over that bunker and I was actually aiming at the flag and I thought the wind would bring it back to the middle of the green. Then I have a chance to make 3, but worse you should make 4. Must have been, let's say 175 meters. Uphill it was another 7, so 182. So it's, what is it, 200 yards?
Josh?
Sorry, Martin, you were talking about the approach shot on 7, but actually the hole before that on 6, which finished within, you know, an inch of rolling in. That was, what was that, about 115, 120?
I played it like a 115 meters shot, so it must have been a little bit longer because it was downwind, so maybe 125 or so. And once I hit it, it felt really good. I just didn't think it was long enough, and it wasn't. It was 2 inches too short. But there was a great shot, you know. And then it's just important that you don't relax on shots like this. And you try to keep going because you know I don't play against players. They play on the Challenge Tour. You know, they are very, very good players. So you have to keep going. And that was nice that I could back it up with an eagle on 7.
So that really kicked you around for you, do you think, from there?
I think that, you know, the first 2 holes, the second hole you should make birdie. I mean, it's a reachable par 5. The first, it was nice to make a good putt, you know, right away. But the eagle, that helps a lot. You know, if you're 5 under after 7 holes, that's pretty good.
Questions? Questions twice?
Martin, how would you describe the conditions out there on the backside? Was it considerably more windier on the backside when you made the turn?
Yeah, when you're standing on the 10th tee box, you know it's you know the next 4 or 5 holes are going to be difficult because there are some tricky tee shots, a lot of elevations as well, especially when you're standing on the 11th fairway and you have to hit it down to the green. It's very difficult to judge the yardage, or to judge the wind more, and therefore to judge the yardage. So the back nine are definitely more challenging than the front nine. You know, the first 6-7 holes, they're important that you take advantage of them, that you make at least 2 or 3 birdies. That helps for the back nine.
On number 16, everybody knows how tough that can be, and today you hit a par. It almost felt like a birdie today. Yes, the rest of the guys are playing it.
Well, I think it didn't play that difficult today because they didn't put the pin all the way back. So I hit a 5-iron. I was aiming at the right side bunker. And I thought if the wind doesn't take it, then I'm ending up short of the green, or maybe in the bunker. But the bunker shot would have been fairly easy. I think I would have had a good chance to make 3. And it was the wind took it a little bit, so it was a nice high draw. So I think it was not that difficult today. The way I played yesterday was very tough because I hit probably 2 irons more yesterday. So, I mean, 3 is a good score, but it didn't feel like a birdie. It was not that good of a 3.
Jim, thanks for popping in. Tough day out there today?
Yeah, I actually played a lot better, I thought, in the score. Obviously, the 2 bogeys at the finish made it look a little worse than it was, and not birdie at 17, so I pretty much gave up 3 shots on the last 3 holes. I drove the ball well today. I actually hit the ball pretty well. really, one of the strengths of my game really is from about 120 yards in with my wedges, and my wedge game was awful today. Maybe one of the worst rounds of the year with the wedge. I had a careless 3-putt on 12 from about 15 feet. I'm sorry, 11. And really, all in all, didn't play that poorly, but got absolutely zero out of the round today. And just kind of let mistakes kind of compound on each other and ended up 1 over. So kind of scratched my head because I felt like I played a lot better on that.
Your last couple of victories here in the PGA Grand Slam of Golf, you were either leading going into the final round or tied for the lead. You're not done by any means, are you here?
No, but I'm going to need a lot of help. Being 7 shots back, I can go out and fire. I feel like I'm playing well enough. I can go out and fire a good number tomorrow, but obviously if Martin goes out and shoots 4 under par, it definitely takes me out of the equation for winning. But I'm going to give it a go tomorrow and go out and play as hard as I can and try to shoot a good number.
Questions, folks, for Mr. Fiora?
Jim, do you feel like you had to give up some ground to these guys at the par 5s?
Not at all. Not at all. The 17th is very reachable for me. The 7th is an iron shot for me in for a second shot. The only hole that I might give up ground on is number 2, but I just played the 5s really poorly. I drove it bad on 7. I did hit a bad drive there. Bad second shot on 17. Hit a good bunker shot, missed the putt. Hit a bad wedge in the number 2. I had it laid up perfect. I didn't take advantage of the 5s, but it's not really the yardage. 2 of them are very, very short. They're long par 4s really. And then the second hole's, it's not going to be reachable for me unless it gets real downwind. But I got to do a little better job of the wedge game.
Very good.
It's not a power. This golf course, power has nothing to do with playing well on this golf course. I realize those 3 are all very long, but they're also very good at. Bubba can hit a lot of shots and work it into the wind, and Rory's obviously able to do that being the #1 player in the world, and Martin's a good ball striker, so that the power isn't part of it, but they control the golf ball better than I do today.
Jim, could you speak about the really silver lining shot today? It was from the bunker. You hit a beautiful shot there within.
Yeah, tried to hold a drive into the wind there, and it just, the wind never touched it. Hit a little straighter than I thought it could. Got a little bit of a bad break where it ended up underneath that lip, but had enough room to work with and hit a gap wedge from about 105, and it just came out. It's one of those that I'm just trying to get it up on the green and get out of there with 4, and it came out perfect, and left myself probably about a 4 or 5 foot for birdie.
Rory, bit of a roller coaster out there today. Are you happy at the end of the day with the round?
It was okay. There was, around the turn there was a few sloppy shots and left myself in some difficult positions. But a couple of birdies on the back nine. It was okay. I mean, at one point in the round, it felt like Martin was leaving us all behind. But I'm still. You get off to a good start tomorrow. You never know what can happen.
Questions, folks? Rich?
Rory, what did you have for your second shot at 17? And can you talk about that putt for eagle?
I had 2-5 to the pin, into the wind. I hit a 4-iron. Obviously a really good shot, and I think Jim's putt before me just put me off a little bit because his seemed to break quite a lot. So I started mine outside the hole and it didn't really move. So, but yeah, I mean, still, nice to bounce back there. It would have been nice to make eagle, but still a good birdie after the bogey on 16.
Josh?
Rory, was there anything specifically that you could put your finger on today where you felt it was a little bit off, or was it just?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 100% on, that's for sure. And I started pretty well, and then the 2 bogeys on 8 and 9 sort of just took the wind out of my sails a little bit, and just found it hard to sort of get going after that.
When you're out there, obviously you're concentrating, you're playing, and it's important to win. But is there a bit of back and forth between you guys any more than normal? Or?
Yeah, of course. It's a very relaxed atmosphere out there. It's definitely not. We're not. We're still concentrating. We're still trying to play good golf and ultimately try and win. But yeah, it's more relaxed to chat a little bit more, and it's just a nice friendly 4-hole out there.
I was going to ask you, First of all, help me with the distance on that eagle putt on 17.
It was like 6 feet.
6 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. And was the wind conditions considerably different by the time you got around the turn? Can you speak about that?
I thought the wind was pretty similar the whole day. You know, it stayed pretty consistent in terms of strength. I guess just on the back nine a little bit, there's a few shots you're hitting from elevated, tees or, second shots, and the wind can affect the ball a little bit more. So I think that's why I made the back nine play a little trickier. Feels like the front nine was a little more sheltered, especially those first few holes.
Martin said that 16 didn't play as tough today, but how would you rank that hole the way it came in?
Well, what was it? Was it 3 bogeys and a par? So I was still playing pretty tough. Yeah, it was playing tough for me. I had it in the hazard, but thankfully it stayed up. I was sort of in two minds whether to play it or not, but decided to play it. Actually turned out to be a decent 4 in the end for me.
Rory, 400, you've got to be pretty happy with your play today, right?
Yeah, very, very solid. The only hiccup there was on 16. I thought I hit a great shot. Came up short though. Tough bunker shot. And made a quick bogey there, but other than that, it was a solid round of golf. Nothing too scary. Not too many wayward shots, so yeah, good day.
Yeah, thanks. Questions, ladies and gentlemen? Rich?
Bubba, can you talk about your thought process at 10? Are you able to get a good line on where you want to hit that driver?
Well, it's a tough one because of the fact that, I have to cut it, so I'm cutting it up against the wind. And if I cut it too much or something, it can easily balloon and get out of bounds quick. Today I just pulled it, hit it, too far. So today I was trying to hit a little cut, but I just pulled it a little bit. So I knew it was too far as soon as I hit it. I mean, it was over the crowd and way down the slope. Not all at once, everyone's calm down.
Bubba, what was it? I could ask you about the signature hole. Every player that comes in today, what did you play on 16?
I hit a 5-iron. We came up with 212 front, 223 hole, I think it was, roughly. Is what we came up with. And perfect 5-iron. Thought the wind was crossing with a slight help, never hurting. And for some reason my ball, maybe I didn't catch it as good as I thought I did, but came up way short. But it was a perfect line. I mean, it was a perfect line, just like on 17, a perfect line, came up short again. Guess we just guessed the wind a little wrong, but other than that, it was good.
Bubba, what did you have for yardage and club on 17? And were you surprised that it came up short?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just like 16, 16 the wind was coming the other way. 17 the wind was coming across the opposite direction. And I hit a 4-iron. It was we roughly had it at 213 with all of our numbers figured out. It was 213 hole. So I hit 4-iron trying to cut a slight cut in there just to hold it. And again, it came up short again, and I think the wind just held my ball differently. That's the only 2 times all day that we didn't guess right on the wind, because I played solid all day except those 2. I got up and down on one of them though, at least.
Well, it's obviously quite a relaxed atmosphere out there this week. Do you guys bit of back and forth, bit of banter, getting on each other or not?
No, we don't really banter like picking on each other or anything or making fun of each other. Well, Martin did. Every time Martin outdrove me, he said, "Look, I outdrove you again." And I told him I'm trying to hit fairways. I'm trying to learn how to hit fairways like the other 3 guys. And so that was it. It's the end of the year. Well, start of the year, whichever way you want to look at it for the PGA Tour. And so for us, we're just out here just talking about when are you playing next, what are you doing, how the family doing, what are you doing for Christmas, things like that, just basic stuff, just small talk, because we're all friends, no matter what's going on out there, we're all friends and pulling for each other. Yeah.
Beautiful.